So several states, including New York and Hawaii, are still, in the face of this new CDC guidance, refusing to relax their mask mandates. Nancy Pelosi is on board with that. She's refusing to relax the mandates in the House of Representatives, and she can do that. Yesterday, Florida Congressman Brian Mast defied that order.
Madam Speaker, as the member designated for the representative from Florida, Brian Mast, I ask that given the updated CDC guidance, we all take off these stupid masks.
So Brian Mast, standing on science, spoke the truth. And for that, he was threatened with a fine for being maskless on the House floor. We have reached out to Nancy Pelosi's office, and you won't be surprised to learn they blew us off and declined comment. But Congressman Brian Mast did agree to come on tonight, and we're happy to have him with us now. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. Before I ask you why every Republican in the House who's been vaccinated didn't follow suit and do what you did, let me ask you why you did what you did.
I'm just not going to play her stupid game that falls somewhere between dog and pony show, smoke and mirrors, and pure manipulation. That's why.
So you've been vaccinated. The science, as communicated by the CDC this week, current state of it is that you do not need to wear a mask because you're not going to get COVID, because that's why you got the vaccination in the first place. What is her position? What is her argument? Why is she threatening to fine you for following CDC guidance?
Because they want control. They want control of everybody. And let's put the perspective on this. The person third in line to the presidency is saying this in the House of Representatives: if you don't wear a mask, even though the CDC said you definitely don't need to wear one, and science supports that, you should be fined $500 for the first offense and $1,000 every time thereafter. And probably the reason everybody doesn't follow suit is because they don't want to be fined $500 and $1,000 respectively.
So how many Republicans are going to follow your lead into morally justified civil disobedience in the face of tyrannical, stupid, and honestly deranged requirements like this one? How many others do you think will do what you've done?
You know, I think come Monday, you're going to see everybody toss their masks in the air like graduates are tossing their hats in the air and say, we're just not going to follow Speaker Pelosi's tyrannical rule here.
I got to ask you, I mean, we've talked a lot in this country about addressing the mental health crisis that's clearly hurting America. We're watching a mental health crisis here, and I'm wondering how many of the people who are still wearing masks after having been vaccinated, after reading the CDC guidance telling them not to wear masks, how many of them, sincere question, are suffering from some form of diagnosable mental illness?
Well, you got to ask yourself, are you going to use science as just a tool to support whatever your agenda is? Or are you actually going to take it for what it is? Are you going to use it when it supports or doesn't support whatever your hypothesis is? And if you're not going to use it in both circumstances, then you're just not being honest. You're not being true. You're not being just. And that's clearly a problem for anybody, especially somebody that's a part of representative government. And I'd make one more point on this just quickly, and that's to say this. Let's see if they use the same fervor about protecting yourself when it comes to us physically protecting ourselves, say personally with our firearms or things like that. I don't think it will apply for them in the same situations.
Let me ask you one last quick question. The science suggests that people who've recovered from COVID and have high levels of antibodies are in fact safer from reinfection than people who've taken the vaccine. There are 100 million of those people in this country. Why are they wearing masks?
Well, because they're forced to. Because when you go to the grocery store, they force you to or they don't let you in. When you go to the airport, they force you to or they don't let you in. That's the place that they want to get to force you to disclose your health information, or else you will be fined or you won't be allowed into somewhere. And if your health information doesn't show that you got the vaccine that they want you to get, and who knows what other vaccines they'll want you to get into the future, then you won't be able to rejoin society, because that's what they will mandate. That is the control.
Time to stop playing along, and thank you for leading the way on that. Congressman Brian Mast of Florida. Appreciate it.
All the best.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.